Good morning. So looking at the ES, looks like in the overnight we have a little bit of a range. Fail break out the top. Fail break out the top. You see a fail break out the bottom. Then get a little uptrend, close outside, new high, and then leads to this big rally or big sell-off. That's obviously a news event at 8:30. Then I think you get a spike in channel with a break and two legs to a new low. So it's kind of the spike in channel. Kind of looks like a two-legged break. Downtrend gets a break and new low of its own. Uptrend, break, new high, downtrend, break, new low. Now we're just moving sideways. I'm thinking that we might be moving into some sort of range like this. But I'm not sure, so I'm just drawing these support and resistance lines. We might find some support down here and we might find resistance up there, but I'm not sure yet. Same with the NQ. Everything's basically the same in the overnight. We get a spike down, spike and channel break, two legs to new low, uptrend break, new high, and then this downtrend here. Same thing. I'm looking to see if we get a possible range. We have this double top here, and we're working on moving towards a double bottom. On the CL, looks very different. Uptrend, break, new high, downtrend, break, two legs, attempt, well, it's actually a downtrend, break, the uptrend gets a break and attempt at a new high, creates a triple test. Prices move down and attempt the lows, don't quite reach it. There's some strong support there. And then they kind of chop around in this, looks like a range type of action. Now we get this uptrend break, new high. So if prices move down strongly, then I might be looking for some shorts, but right now I'm not looking for anything. RTY, spike and channel down, break, two legs to new low, uptrend, break, new high. Right here it looks like there's two legs. Unfortunately, no good signal R, but I wasn't here anyway. And then same thing, we might get this range. We might get some sort of range. I'm not even going to draw that resistance there for now. But not really looking for any trades in the ES, the NQ, or the RTY right now. Kind of just the CL if CL trades down strongly. So I'm going to go on my second monitor and draw up these same trends. One correction to the NQ. I'm actually going to change this trend to look like this, where it's already got to close outside a new low. Okay, so a decent amount of uncertainty going on the ES, the NQ, and the RTY. For the most part, it's just sideways action that I usually don't trade. So I'm kind of waiting on some sort of clearer structure. I'm guessing prices will probably come up and fill the gap. So after a strong sell-off like this, prices will lots of times come back and fill that. So if we get some sort of uptrend here and we continue higher, then maybe I'll be looking for longs. We are finding some buying here on the ES and the NQ. So that's definitely a possibility. The RTY is not finding quite as much buying. And then the CL, I'm looking for, as I mentioned earlier, a possible sell-off, but it's possible that there's a larger uptrend going on. This could be a closeout side and 2 legs to new high. For some reason, with all this buying coming in at these wicks, it kind of feels to me like it might be a slightly wider trend. So have to see what happens there, but if we get a strong sell-off, I'll be looking for a short here, and that's kind of the closest thing to a trade right now. I'm gonna go run and make a cup of coffee and hopefully not forget to unmute my microphone. All right, so we did get that strong sell-off on CL, so I'm looking for a second entry short, ideally. And let's look at everything else. I'm always a little out of breath coming up the stairs, which is maybe concerning. I check to see if my mic's on. Just maybe concerning, but I also run a decent amount, so it doesn't really make much sense. Looks like on the ES, in the NQ, the short-term uptrend has a close outside a new high. So that might be confirming this range that I was looking at. So if we put that here, uptrend break new high, might be confirming this range. It's a little bit less confirmed on the ES than it is on the NQ. And then the CL is just kind of moving sideways in this tighter range. Or RTY, I think I said the wrong chart. I'm considering moving the, actually, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it because it was bothering me yesterday. I'm gonna move this, my 4 screens, I'm gonna move them to the right side. Because yesterday I couldn't tell what chart I was looking at because the little window was in the way. Which honestly I don't really need there at all. Hasn't really helped me at all. Just kind of, I don't know. I'm gonna try and remove that. Let's see. Okay. Anyway, I gotta lock into what's happening with the prices instead of playing around with that. So looking for a second entry short on CL. Nothing else as of right now. We are a little bit less than 5 minutes away from the open. It's way too hot. I even put some ice in there and it's still super hot. So the downtrend does have a break and new low on CL. So if you keep it drawn tight, short-term downtrend has a close outside and a new low. Slightly. But it is still a strong down movement, and I'm expecting prices to move lower. So still looking for a potential second entry short there. We're about 2 minutes from the open. Burnt my lip a little bit. On the ES, it looks like there might be some sort of larger trend working up. Unsure, but it looks like a possibility. Trying to stick with drawing these trends pretty early. It doesn't really look like the incur or the RTY has that same trend though, so could just be wrong. Still the closest to a setup would be the CL. It's funny, I'm used to like more potential setups right at 9:30 usually. Okay, so the NQ is pushing up and through what I thought might have been the resistance there, so I'm just going to go and remove that. I don't think it's useful as of right now. There could be a spike in channel of some sort. The ES is respecting this uptrend so far, but it looks like it's going to close outside of that. I think this could still be correct, but it could also just be a break in 2 legs to a new high. So far, this resistance hasn't been super respected, but it could be just a little bit higher like that, potentially. Hopping over to the RTY, looks like prices had a failed breakout of this smaller range and came back within it, and now we're playing back within that. Looking at the ES, I want to see if prices are going to move to a new high of this trend or if it's just incorrect. RTY is forming a downtrend. So setting up for some potential shorts on there. Pretty quick close outside of there. Potential shorts on RTY. So we have this downtrend break, potential for a second entry short, but it doesn't really look like a great place to take one for me. I think it's just a little bit too uncertain. I think this range is over. Downtrend's not playing out, getting a strong uptrend. And on ES, it looks like I was right about this uptrend. We are getting a close outside and attempt at a new high now. In Q, I think we could have a spike in channel. Something like this is a possibility, or it could also just be similar to the ES maybe. So I'll have to see if that comes into play at all. So far, not the easiest day to understand. I'm not seeing anything super clear. I think I understand, but it's also a little bit convoluted. ES has the potential for a short. Clearly there's some resistance up here. This uptrend has doesn't have a break new high, but it's basically played out. Uptrend has a break, attempted a new high. Now we have a short-term downtrend here. So if we continue to move down, there might be some potential shorts. NQ, looks like this spiking channel could be correct. So far prices are potentially playing it. So let's see if that continues to hold. Possibility. On the RTY, we are continuing up. Uptrend had a break a new high, prices are continuing up anyway. So it could be some sort of similar channel to the NQ going on. That's very uncertain right there. ES looks like it's moving up towards the break a new high, even though this uptrend basically made a double top. Prices are attempting again to reach that new high. So chances for a short are probably pretty low there. I'm not going to probably take that short. NQ, I would even possibly consider a long. There's a first entry. This channel so far looks correct, so could be a long there. The ES has achieved the break a new high, so uptrend, close outside 2 legs to a new high. Potential resistance, just moving up there. I want to see if prices are going to turn around on the ES and what that will mean for the NQ as well, because the NQ looks to me to be in this uptrend basically for sure. And if the ES turns down, I'm wondering what's going to happen to the NQ. Assuming the ES will. It might just continue upwards here. 2 legs up. Could be a spiking channel on the ES as well, now that I look at it. Could be something like that. Strong sell-off on RTY. Going to go ahead and remove this trend. Looks more like 2 legs up. Now we're getting this strong move down. Oops. So overall, lots of sideways action, but no clear support or resistance at this time on RTY. It's not even technically the overnight lows, I don't think. CL is continuing down. Going to draw a slightly wider downtrend here. Extend it, bring it back. Okay, ES is turning down, so I'm going to get rid of this spiking channel. I'm going to play this as a break and 2 legs to a new high. If we get some continued down movement, I might consider a second entry short. Although I do want to consider that it could look like this as well. We are getting some strong buying, so maybe I'm going to play it like that instead. That is quite a lot of buying, so I think that channel is probably correct. So I'm looking for longs on the ES, the NQ, and shorts on CL. The reasoning is I think the spiking channel is right on the ES and the NQ. It's definitely playing like it's correct on NQ. And the ES a little bit spottier, but looking correct. And then CL, we're getting this down movement. So I'm still expecting some type of short, ideally maybe a second entry short. RTY is highly uncertain at this point. There's lots of choppy action. I could see maybe something like this being correct, but probably not. Just gonna wait until there's something more clear. Okay, so now on the ES, we're pulling back for what would be a second entry long. But prices have found so much resistance here that I don't think I can take that. No second entry long there for me. So clearly there's just resistance along this level. NQ is getting close to what could be a second entry long. It's not like a super clear 2 legs back, it's more of like a choppier one, but this is a decently strong uptrend, and if we do get a second entry long right off this trend line, I'll probably end up taking that. Have to see another sort of move down there, so if we get a bullish bar there, I'm not going to take that. ES is looking a little bit weaker. Prices came down to the trend line, weren't able to move to the channel line, found this resistance here. So that could be a sign that it's going to break soon. So not getting the signal bar or where I wanted it to on the NQ. Yeah, I don't like that. Flipping back to the ES. I do think this spike in channel was at least was correct, but it looks like it's probably going to break. Definitely not looking for any longs. This is not long type of action right here. It's way too congestive, not pushing away from it. Prices last time they came down to the trend line weren't able to push up to the channel line, so it's a sign it'll probably break. It might not even be correct, honestly, because this uptrend clearly has a break in 2 legs to a new high, so it could just be like the sideways action after the other uptrend played out. CL is getting pretty close to this support area, so the the possibilities of taking a short are lower for me now. NQ has broken this uptrend, or this is ES. ES has broken this uptrend, and looks like we're moving towards a new high. Same with the NQ though. So we broke this uptrend. Now we're moving towards what looks like a new high. There is the possibility for a higher low here. More so on the ES, or more so on the NQ than the ES, in my opinion. Although it looks like prices are just going to go ahead and move up to that new high, so nothing for me to take there. RTY is moving up strongly as well. it's pretty unclear like what's going on. I see a short-term downtrend, a break, and 2 legs to a new low, potentially. It could be off the same sort of support level that was this range earlier. Okay, strong sell-off on the NQ. Looking for shorts. So now the uptrend has a close outside and a new high. We have a strong downtrend. So looking for shorts there, ideally a second entry short. Same with the ES. Close outside, new high. That's all played out there. Now we're getting the strong short-term downtrend. So looking for shorts. Have a break and new low on the NQ. Short-term downtrend, close outside, new low. So probably not really looking for shorts unless this downtrend ends up being wider, continues down. Same with the ES. Looks the exact same at this point. Downtrend, break, new low. Looking for a measured move down. Looks like we've hit that. Super strong up move on the ES and the NQ. Potential for a failure to go higher, but there's not really a great reason to go long now that I think about it. So I was just thinking, just such a strong move up after this downtrend has made 2 legs down. You know, there's some reason to think long, but probably not enough to go long, especially after you're getting this bearish bar here. I think that was just me getting kind of suckered in by a strong move. On the NQ, it looks like a short-term uptrend with a close outside and a new high. I think I drank a little bit too much coffee too fast. I'm feeling a little bit wired right now. Looking for 2 legs up. There's nothing I'm really considering on any of the charts right now. On the ES, uptrend, close outside, new high, 2 legs down, double bottom, short-term uptrend has a break, new high. Kind of looks like we're just in a transition period. Overall, it's super sideways. I even think that's a triple test, potential for a range even, if you can find some resistance anywhere. Have to see if prices do end up making any resistance, but clearly there is some support here along this area. I would say it's not quite the same on the NQ. Some support here that'll maybe want to keep in mind. But that's about it. CL downtrend now has a close outside and a new low. So looking for maybe some sort of move up now. RTY is continuing to just chop around, basically. Looks like there was some resistance along this area. Prices are now breaking out of. But yeah, no clear structure on the RTY, that's for sure. Moving up on ES and NQ, continuing up. Maybe this wasn't a convincing enough close outside. Prices are gonna continue upwards, maybe. Not sure. Confusing area, that's for sure. Confusing area here as well although we're getting that up movement. For some reason it feels like this could be correct, but it would be weird to skip this swing for basically no reason. I'm going to draw it anyway because it looks correct. Could have that uptrend. Downtrend plays out. Could be working towards a measured leg up, potentially. Just kind of shooting some things out there, trying to figure out what's going on. I don't really love that. On the ES, it looks like we have moved basically 2 legs up, almost to the tick. Yep, close. So I think on the ES chart, you could even probably pull this out a little bit and say that's not actually a closeout side. I think it probably technically was, but on a larger scale, it's probably just this spike and channel. 2 legs down, and then prices have 2 legs to a new high. I think that's probably the better way to play it. Even though I do think that, like, technically, if you were to pull this in, it is a closeout side. I think, you know, as prices are evolving, that it makes more sense to play it there. I don't see the same thing on the incur though. I think the incur is pretty solidly has that. If we put it here, if we put it there, it is a possibility though. But I like the way that looks tighter. There. I think on the ES you could even draw this trend here, working up. Let's go ahead and get rid of a lot of these measured moves. I'm going to change this back to the read that I had earlier because I think this is a separate trend now. I think that break new high, 2 legs down, now we're starting the next leg up. And I'm also going to look for that measured move. I'm drawing too many measured moves here. I think this one was correct, 1, 2 legs up. That one makes sense. Okay, so maybe I'm not. All these measured moves kind of make sense. Okay, looking for a long on the ES, possibly on the incur as well, but it doesn't make as much sense on the incur to me, unless you have something like that. I'm not seeing it currently, so looking for a second entry long on the ES. And a failed second entry on the CL. Coming off these lows, potential for a failed second entry. A first entry on the ES. Zoom in here. There's our correction trend. Unless prices close outside of that, I probably don't want to take anything. Switch to the ES 1-to-1. I don't really want that bar if it closes bullish. It doesn't look right.
Order submitted.
Oh wow, strong down move. So I think there might be a close outside a new low there, but not sure about that. potential for the second entry long. Prices are looking a little squirrely. There might be a news event at 10.
Order canceled.
I'm actually gonna wait a little bit and see what's gonna happen. I think I remember hearing that there's gonna be like some kind of inflation news or something like that. So let's see. And that's 10 o'clock, so our price is moving. Yeah, I would say there might be some kind of movement there. Clearly a slightly larger downtrend. I need to start checking the news. It's actually like really dumb that I don't. I used to have a news guard up on the screen all the time, and then something happened where it stopped working or something like that. And I never put it back on, so I gotta start checking that in the morning, at least. In Q, this uptrend is not useful really at all. If anything, it's probably just like that. Sounds like they're testing the nuclear power plant. Either that or I'm about to die. Possible long on the ES here. So we have an uptrend, correction leg, possible higher low. But the thing is, this downtrend doesn't have a break in new low. So I'm thinking that's where prices are probably going to go next. Or at least I want to see maybe a failure at least. Not really sure what's going on RTY. It's like maybe you can draw an uptrend like that, close that side. It's all just, I don't know, it's a lot of sideways and choppy action on RTY. Tempted to just draw a range, but just see like could be some support and resistance there for a range. Now I'm like paranoid that my mic is going to be muted because yesterday it was muted for like half the day. Trying to figure out whether prices are going to retest these highs on the ES or not. So far it doesn't really look like it, but it could be maybe a failed second entry or a really good strong high or low or something like that that maybe could interest me. I don't know. I should probably start considering larger structures to the upside on the ES and the NQ. Something like that. Maybe. Possibility for a failed second entry. Let's zoom on in here. Too many lines on the chart. I hate whenever there's so many lines. Just like gets like too hectic. Okay, possibility for a failure definitely exists.
Order
See if we can get
submitted.
a bullish bar here. I'm not sure about this uptrend, but I feel like prices might try and attempt this one, and this downtrend's already played out with a close outside and a new low. So that's why I'm considering possibility for a failure there. This is a pretty strong bearish bar though. Better to wait for a
Order
second entry
canceled.
long. If prices are gonna hold here, then better to wait for a second entry long now. But it looks like they probably won't hold there. I mean, they might, but I don't know. Okay, we are getting a pretty strong bullish bar. Definitely getting some up movement off what could be a trend line. Strong up movement on CL, so definitely looking for possible longs. Downtrend had to break a new low, and then now we got the failed breakout, so it's kind of a more convincing move down, followed by this very strong move up. Strong move up on ES as well, so definitely looking for these longs. Seems to be supporting the idea of this trend, but not entirely sure yet. NQ, I tried to draw a similar trend to the ES, but it doesn't fit quite as well. I mean, you could pull it in so it does fit, then you have to cut through that bar. So it doesn't fit quite as well there. Okay, so looking for longs on ES, NQ, and CL. RTY is still just not really making much sense. I mean, maybe you could find some sort of uptrend through here. I don't really see it though. I definitely don't see anything I'd be interested in taking right now. So far, ES is looking closest to a setup. Short-term uptrend here could have a close outside a new high already. In fact, it most likely does have a close outside a new high. Still a pretty strong up move though. So if we get a second entry long, I'll probably be interested. We're continuing to make higher highs and higher lows. Appears to me like we're in this uptrend. So let's see what we can get. Got the first entry on both the NQ and the ES. Now looking for a move down to create a second entry long. Okay, possibility exists on both the ES and the NQ. This is congestive. If we move up and create a bullish bar there, I'm not going to take it. You can clearly see there's a correction trend down, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 stacked bars. So we've created the second entry long. It doesn't fit what I'd want to take in Q. Possibility still exists, but you can see clearly there's a short-term downtrend working lower there. So far not seeing it on the NQ. Doesn't look quite as good on the NQ either. Not making that higher high on the NQ. Said you're finding some support there. In Q continuing to work down. Still the possibility for a second entry long, but looking a little bit less likely. This would be a second entry long here, and I'm tempted to possibly take that. Just kind of feels like it's in the middle of nowhere. There is this support here, so it is kind of a triple test with the second entry long, but we just made a lower high here. This downtrend still looks like it's in play. Had a cough there, didn't want it to be too loud. Yeah, downtrend still looks like it's kind of in play here, and you made that lower high. Uptrend doesn't look as good as it does on the ES, and so yeah, I'm not really too fond of that one. Creating a first entry on CL. It's really the only one that I'm still considering. The ES looked all congestive and didn't get what you were kind of looking for there. So uptrend, break new high. Now you have kind of 2 legs down, but it's just a bunch of sideways action. So I don't think there's anything that I'm looking for there. Just want to see if this uptrend ends up being correct or not. I just have no idea what's happening in the RTY. This one makes no sense to me. I keep drawing like support and resistance levels, but none of them are really like coming into play quite right. ES is finding some support off this trend line again. So making another run up. Let's see if this one's able to actually do anything. Last time, so if it's correct, last time we didn't reach the channel line, came back, didn't reach the channel line again. So it's not a great sign for prices to continue upwards. The NQ coming back to what could be its trend line. CL. This would be a second entry long on CL. Again, it's sort of tempting, but there's a short-term leg down here. So it is a second entry long coming off this support level. Short-term uptrend doesn't have a break new high, but pretty steep down move back through the EMA. Short-term downtrend, like I said, still in play. So not really much to do there. Possible higher low on the ES. So we have kind of this down move and then a possible higher low after prices came off the trend line. I'm considering taking that.
Order submitted.
In fact, I like it. I don't know. Okay, so it is moving up there. Okay, so I totally should have taken that.
Order filled.
Okay, it got me in, so. Gotta move my order here. This is like a kind of a clusterfuck. There we go. Okay, so we did have some up movement. Prices did pull back and get me in. What I like here is that prices pushed strongly off the trend line. That is looking more and more correct. Moved up above the EMA and then had a higher low. I hesitated to enter, so thankfully I still did get in, but let's see if prices move up and
target filled.
And looks like we did get out. Again, feeling out of breath. I can tell my heart rate increased a little bit. I definitely shouldn't have hesitated there. I should have just taken this right off rip. I said that I liked it, and I knew that my read was, or I knew what my read was, so I should have just go ahead and taken that. Still a possible trade on the NQ. And the second entry long triggers on CL, so definitely interested to see if that's going to work out or not. Going to mark it so that way I remember to keep an eye on it, but I don't think this is what I would want to take. It's still within the short-term downtrend, so I'm good on that one. ES is really continuing higher here. I got kind of lucky that prices came back and filled me, especially after such a strong up movement. I definitely can't count on that happening again. I can't hesitate like that in the future. Clearly resistance coming in here. on the NQ. And flipping back to the CL, it looks like I was right to skip this trade. RTY still makes basically no sense to me. Maybe if I start the downtrend here. I don't know. It just doesn't really make any sense. Best thing I can think of is there for now. Definitely finding that resistance on the NQ. There's no such resistance on the ES. So they're not moving in perfect sync. Not that they move in perfect sync usually, but they move at least closer, I guess. Possibility for a second entry long on the ES. Uptrend needs to break a new high. First entry, second entry long. Kind of looks like just congestive action. I think that could be a decent trade, but it looks like range like to me. I don't really want to push up and through that, but that could be good. I think part of the reason I'm skipping that is just because I just took a trade. So maybe if I hadn't have just taken a trade, I might have taken that one, which isn't really a good reason to not take that. I don't see. I mean, the only reason not to take it would, I guess, be this congestive action and pushing into that high. We'll see. RTY is really pushing up strongly. So definitely looking for some longs on the RTY. Even though I don't fully understand it, I know that clearly prices are moving up strongly. So if you get a good setup to the long side, it's probably going to take that. Looks like I was right to pass up on this trade on the ES. So a little bit precarious that the reason I took it, or reason that I skipped it, was partially just the fact that I just took a trade. I mean, I did notice this congestion in the double top, but I might have taken that anyway, so definitely gonna have to look back at that one. NQ, possibility for a second entry long, but prices have just turned down off this resistance. So I'm probably not really looking for any longs. It's looking kind of weak to me right now. Yeah, I don't think I would want this long. It's too uncertain. So all I'm really looking at is the RTY as far as the trade goes. No, you are finding some momentum on this bar on NQ. Of course, as I say that, it sells off and ends as a doji. Prices look like they're really struggling to go higher on the NQ. RTY is just ripping upwards. And we do get the move to a new high on ES. So we do get the move to a new high of this short-term uptrend. It just wasn't here. It was after the fail breakout. And the NQ is moving higher, so maybe it was reasonable to be considering a long here. Obviously didn't get the signal bar, so there's nothing that I would have taken. I wouldn't have taken it anyway. But just seeing that prices are, or I thought prices were continuing to move up, but so far, maybe not. On the ES, the uptrend has played out. As far as this major uptrend goes, prices are continuously failing to reach the channel line. Makes me wonder if maybe it's just, no, probably not. RTY, still the possibility for the long entry. Kind of looks like a visual 2 legs back a little bit, but I'm not taking that. So you can see like kind of like moves up, then moves down again. But I'm gonna wait for a true second entry or something that looks like 2 legs, like a more clear 2 legs. Yes, it's chopping sideways after the uptrend. So uptrend has a break a new high. Now we're just chopping sideways, finding some support here. NQ, looks like I was right not to take a long there after all, or to be looking for a long there after all. More than anything on the NQ, it looks like we're building out what could be a range with this support and this resistance. So you can see that there. And the RTY, still possible long. I think this uptrend is probably right. So I'd still be willing to play this, even though I don't exactly understand what's going on everything on like the rest of the chart. I mean, if anything, you know, you can see that we made higher highs. We also are making kind of like, or higher lows and kind of lower highs. They're kind of equal. So it's kind of like almost like a wedge type of area. But it's tough to tell what's going on in that area. So now we do have the true first entry there. The possibility for a second entry. Looks a little bit congestive. Definitely a little bit congestive. If we break lower below that congestion though, come off the trend line and the EMA with a nice bullish bar though, as that second entry long, I'll probably take that. Got a strong move on the CL down. 10:30, probably news related then. Again, I need to start checking the news, or when the economic news is. Now we're getting a strong up move. It's not really continuing, so just keep an eye on that. Oh, shoot. There's the second entry on the RTY. It looks a little bit congestive for me. I wasn't exactly watching how this bar formed either, so I'm going to have to skip that one. I got distracted. Got distracted by the CL. I saw it out of the corner of my eye that it was moving really quickly, so yeah. Either way, I think that taking it in this congestion is not what I wanted. As I mentioned whenever I was talking about having it set up, I wanted it to really pull down here, like pull down further and set up where the bar high was like, shoot. The bar high was like ending at the lows. So second entry long did trigger there. Looks like we do have a break, most likely. Could be a break, could not be, of this uptrend. Not sure. Not entirely sure. Now we are moving up on RTY. Probably won't have a chance to enter as prices move to the closeout side and new extreme. Moving up strongly on the ES and the NQ. RTY has moved to the break and new high now, so I'm not looking for any more longs on RTY. Looking at the CL, looks like we made two moves up, 1, 2. If we continue up, I'll probably look for some sort of long entry. Looks like we are probably going to continue past that measured move, in which case I'll probably look to take a long. I think the volume is not just the volume, but I think I need to adjust the bars on the CL because there's like so few bars since 930 compared to the ES especially. I mean, 58 bars on CL. There's probably like 100 or more on the ES. It's 186 on CS or on ES. So I'm gonna have to adjust the bars a bit. There's a second entry long forming on the ES, but I'm not interested in that. You could say that you're looking for this breaking new high of the short-term uptrend. And that's true, but you're not back to the EMA. You're looking a little bit congestive. It's you're getting pretty far into this trend now, so yeah, I'm not interested in that. NQ is still kind of struggling with this resistance here, but the trend line, the major trend line, this one, seems to be holding there. And then in the end, maybe I was right to be looking for a long back here, where I was looking for a possible second entry long, though. I probably wouldn't have taken that anyway, but just trying to figure out whether I was right in my thinking to skip it or not. So I guess I was wrong. I don't know. I'll have to look back at that later. Anyway, possibility of a long on CL is really the only trade that I'm looking at currently. I don't know what's going on. I got this mucus in my throat that just won't go away. Short-term uptrend coming back within these lows. So we had this failed breakout. Prices came back and tested it. 2 legs down. I actually wasn't looking at this at the time. I think it's probably still moving too quickly for the news event, but you can see there is a spike up and then like a second entry long there. So that's an interesting setup. I mean, it makes sense what's happening. All the downtrends have played out. Strong move up. You're expecting prices to probably come back within this range. Far away from the EMA. Not the best signal bar, but I can see that being a potential trade there. So just wanted to point that out. The second entry long on the ES is working out really well. So it's possible maybe I should have considered that further. Really strong movement up. We're finally reaching the channel line. So let's see if that's going to hold or not. Looks to me like we're looking at 2 legs up currently. 1, 2. And flip back to the CL because that's a possible setup. I've noticed that sometimes I get a little bit too focused on the wrong chart at the wrong time. So like we have this potential setup on CL, and there's no other setup on any other chart right now. But then I'll still find myself looking at the other charts whenever I should really just be looking at the one that has the possible setup and just waiting for the other ones because this is the most important one at the time, I guess. Looks to me, I'm not going to flip to it, looks to me like the RTY right now has played out with the 2, so like the uptrend is broken. All right, I am going to flip to it. Uptrend is broken with 2 legs, 2 new high, almost perfect legs. And then you get a strong leg down, so that looks to me like it's probably completed. All right, now back to the CL. That's what I said I wasn't going to do. Uptrend needs a breaking new high on CL. Clear first entry. Looking for a second entry long. So far it's setting up pretty much exactly right.
Order
If we
submitted.
in bearish, tick below that bar, turn up. Oh yeah, this is like a perfect 2 legs currently. I really like this. Another thing, I keep looking at the other charts when really I should just be focusing on this one. Like this is the only one that I'm almost taking an entry on. So I should just be like fully focused on this chart. And then once I'm done fully focusing on this chart, then I switch to another one. Looks like the bar's not going to end bullish there. Getting ready in case it does though. Just a doji bar. If we tick below that and still get a bullish bar there, I'll still consider it, but it won't be as good as if there was that just that bullish bar right there. That would have been just perfect to me. And then now, so I just noticed I'm looking at the other charts saying, okay, well that bullish bar didn't set up. So now I start looking at the other charts to see, okay, well what was happening whenever I was looking at that trade? Well, this one's still potentially setting up, so I need to make sure that I continue to focus on this until it's no longer a possibility. Okay, down movement is looking really strong. I'm not finding any bullish momentum at all.
Order canceled.
All right. Now I think I can safely cancel that one. We've moved past the measured move. We've moved back through this support line. So I think that, yeah, it's safe to cancel that one and start looking at the other charts. Surprise, surprise, I missed nothing. RTY looks like there might be a slightly wider downtrend there. Possibility. It could just be a short-term downtrend with the close outside and 2 legs to a new low though. But this uptrend definitely looks like it's completed to me. So uptrend, close outside, 2 legs to a new high, almost measured, strong move through the EMA. Yeah, that's prime. ES is moving down as well, but I'm not gonna take any shorts. I'm playing this uptrend, so I'm just waiting until this correction plays out on the ES, and then I'll look to hop back on long. There's no reason to go against the trend right now. Nothing to do on the NQ. Just getting this leg back as well, so it's really just the RTY might be looking for a short, and the CL is continuing to move down very strongly. I wonder what clues could have told me that this long wasn't going to be good. Or was it right to be saved by the signal bar here? I hate whenever, like, if this bar had ended bullish and there was a little bit of momentum on there, I probably would have taken that and I would have gotten trapped. So I hate whenever that's the case and I was saved by just like something small like that. So I'm wondering what clues could be available here for me to see. I was afraid my mic was muted again. For me to see that prices were probably going to sell off here. So I want to look into that later. Okay, it's the RTY. That's what we're looking at now. Interesting. Okay. It's quite a strong down move. Possibility. I'm going to leave this here just for the possibility of an overshoot. I'm not going to drag that out yet. Let's see what prices do. So far not looking like an overshoot. Still could be though. Could just be tighter. I want to mention that on the trade that I took earlier, I forgot to talk about this. The trade that I took earlier, part of why I hesitated was because there wasn't, or I didn't think there was a ton of momentum, or maybe I wasn't watching the bar. I'm not sure. For some reason, I wasn't sure about the momentum. So I was kind of waiting until I saw whether there's going to be buying momentum. And once I did see that buying momentum, that's whenever I placed the order. But that's not what I should be doing. I need to make the decision at the bar close, not after there's a little bit more movement. That's too late after there's a little bit more movement. So just wanted to point out that error in my thinking. So that way, whenever I'm reviewing this later, I can catch that because I wasn't sure if I was going to remember or not. Finally getting this pullback on RTY, so I'd really like to see a two-legged pullback to take a short. Possibility for a long on ES. Downtrend has a closeout side and a new low, ending at the trend line. Clearly. It's looking like you probably won't get the bullish bar there.
Order
Prices might have already
submitted.
broken the trend there. But if we do get a nice bullish bar, then I'll probably be willing to take that. It's 2 legs down to a key entry point. The bar would have to be pretty bullish though. Can't just be like kind of a bullish bar. Looking like we probably won't get that there, so I'll look for the higher low.
Order canceled.
Prices might just continue on down and through there though. On the NQ, prices have just pushed right through that downtrend, or the uptrend. Keep messing up my words. So pushed right on through there. Okay, looking for a higher low on ES. You could definitely adjust this uptrend just a little bit to the point where that's not quite a closeout side. So that's why I'm still considering a higher low, even though this could be a closeout side. Yeah, not really looking like something I would want to take. Looks like we're probably going to continue down on the ES. So it's most likely a true break of the uptrend. Could even be wider. Could even look at something like this. Have to see if that comes into play or not. Moving down really strong on the ES. Well, moving down strong on the ES, the NQ, and the RTY. They're all pretty much in sync right now. Possible overshoot. Even though that uptrend is looking like it's probably going to need a break a new high, this is a sufficiently strong downtrend that if we get a nice correction, like a nice 2 legs back or something like that, then I'll probably consider a short on both the ES and the NQ. I'm definitely looking for a short on the RTY. So on the ES, the NQ, ES and the NQ, not the RTY right now, we are getting a pullback. So I would consider taking a short on either one of these. Doesn't really look like an overshoot to me. I think this downtrend is correct. Like the wider downtrend I think is correct. Look at that, we made a perfect 2 measured moves down. 1, 2, with that smaller downtrend. So if we remove that downtrend, break new low. I think this larger downtrend is right though. Heck, you could draw it. You could draw it off that the true swing high right there, and it fits perfectly. So I would consider a second entry short here, even though the uptrend needs a break in new high. This is a really strong downtrend. So if we get a good 2 legs back, I think there's reason to short there. Reason enough to short. Looks like we're just going to keep on moving down. I'm going to remove that downtrend just because it's kind of clouding up the view of what's going on. But yeah, it looks like we're going to keep moving down there. The NQ though, still a possibility. You could maybe draw this so it's still within the downtrend on the NQ, but I'm not sure about that. Doesn't really matter. I know I'm looking for shorts on either one. RTY is just kind of chopping around. NQ, possibility.
Order
The second
submitted.
entry short. We are a bit away from the EMA. But I might still be willing to take that. It looks like it's off the trend line. I'd still probably rather see a close outside. So prices break here and move up a little bit higher. Yeah, see, I like that better. If we continue to move higher, still closer to the EMA, I'd probably still prefer that. But it looks like there's probably a close outside of this downtrend. Whether it was earlier or now, I think it's probably occurred by now. It's a pretty strong downtrend though. So if we get a nice bearish bar, there's a good chance I'll be willing to take a short there. Might leave without me though. Still a lot of ticks left to get through. Preparing for it just in case. The ES is continuing to move down. Looks like it's still within its downtrend, which makes me feel a little bit better about this one, even though it is a lower high second entry. a little bit away from the EMA. Downtrend was pretty strong. I'm going to drop a limit order back a little bit if this one does trigger. Something like there would probably be good. Bar's not ending super bearish though. Not ending bearish at all.
Order
so
canceled.
Just gonna go ahead and remove that. Yeah, no. So nothing I can do there. Hop back to the CL. So there's clearly some support there at one point. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Yeah, I don't really know. Could be some sort of downtrend in play, but I don't really see one. For the most part, it just looks choppy and range-like. Man, today's going by pretty fast. Already less than an hour left. There's been enough happening that I think it's just been so much going on that's why it's gone by so fast. But I don't know for sure. I mean, I don't know. Having fun. So it looks like I was saved by the signal bar here, which I hate whenever I don't take a trade, like just because the signal bar. Hate whenever that happens. So gonna have to study why I wouldn't want to short here. I don't want to be like too hell-bent on taking a short here, but it does look like it could be two larger legs back. Even though the second entry short would have been here. Looks like a 1, 1, 2, 1. So like a leg up, then two legs back, and then another leg up to create the second leg. Now we are moving down pretty strongly, so maybe that was the move there. Checking out the CL. Kind of looks like we're working towards 2 measured likes down, maybe. Maybe that's a trend right there. You might even have another one. I think I considered that, but I don't see it right now. Downtrend, break, new low, and we've hit that measured move. Wow, it's strong. Very strong. Okay, we surpassed that measured move. We've been done very strong in oil. What about this? If we draw a measured like here, possibility. So yeah, definitely looking for some shorts on CL. I want to point out that there is a, oh, never mind. I was going to say there is a second entry short on ES, but this makes a lower low. Either way, I wouldn't want to take that. To me, it looks like the downtrend has a break and new low, so I'm not looking for shorts anymore on the ES or the NQ. That was just sort of a, if it sets up perfectly, then I'll take it. And to be honest, the one that I was looking for with the lower high second entry, it was not setting up perfectly. So I was kind of going against what I had said right there. It's already a precarious place to take a short, given that the uptrend needs to break a new high and you're just playing a correction trend. So I really should have not been looking to take such an imperfect lower high second entry far from the EMA. Not looking for shorts on CL or on the RTY anymore either. For some reason I always mix those two up. Looks like this to me. Downtrend, close outside, new low with this like congestive stuff. This downtrend might or might not be right. Could be wider. Could be like this. Well, not like that, but if I can get the opposite side to fit. Could be like that. Other prices didn't hold that, so I'm just gonna go back to what I had. Possible short though on CL. Okay, potential for a second entry short on CL. See, we have a correction trend that has a close outside, getting close to a breaking new high there.
Order submitted.
Hasn't reached a breaking new high. If we get a bearish enough bar, then maybe I'll be willing to take a lower high second entry, but I'd ideally like to see it close outside a new high of this short-term uptrend. Getting some congestion. We have 3 stacked bars with 3 dojis. So I'd prefer to see prices move up, create this new high, and then get a nice bearish bar. Can't get this mucus out of my throat. Looking pretty unlikely for an entry here, but it's still possible. Clearly, this congestion playing here. Now we do have a close outside and a new high for the short-term uptrend. So if we turn and get a bearish bar, then I might be willing to take this still. But if the bearish bar ends like there, not so much. If the bearish bar ends like right there or higher, maybe. That's kind of what I'm thinking there. There's the question of like the overall context. Like, do I really understand this overall context? The answer, no, I don't. I know that we've been making lower highs and lower lows, and this downtrend needs to break a new low. This downtrend needs to break a new low. Looks like 2 legs up. I feel like that's enough for me. This bar almost ended bearish, so I was getting ready to take that, but then it sort of hopped up and didn't end super bearish.
Order
So
canceled.
just gonna cancel that for now. Maybe there will be a lower high. Yet again on CL, saved by the signal bar, which I hate. Hate whenever that happens. So again, gonna have to determine why exactly, because we almost did have a bearish signal bar there and I almost did take it. So why exactly I wouldn't be looking for a short there. Still the possibility for like a failed second entry though. On the NQ, it looks like you're getting some sort of range. Something like that. I feel like I've been playing the RTY as if like all of this just doesn't exist. I've been playing it just as this uptrend break, 2 legs to new high, downtrend break, new low. And I was like, that's all I need to know. Whether that's true or not, I would say it's probably not true. I should probably have, today I probably should have been paying more attention to all this stuff and trying to figure out exactly what's going on. Downtrend break, 2 legs to new low, uptrend break, new high. Downtrend break, new low, goes into this range, failed breakout, lower high comes back within, downtrend isn't able to play out, uptrend break, new high. So why isn't this, first question, why isn't this trend able to play out? Well, there could be an uptrend. Oh, well, there could be if I drew it right. Could be an uptrend. That doesn't look right. Nope. Could not be an uptrend. I just don't see it. I don't see like the structure here. I mean, maybe it's just a range with uncertain bounds. Maybe it's just this range where the bounds are like super loose. That's kind of like my best guess right now. And that kind of makes sense why this downtrend wouldn't play out. So maybe that's it. Downtrend isn't able to play out because it broke below this range. Oh, and the midline fits really well there. Okay, that's what I'm going with, because the midline fits perfectly there where I had this previous range. Fits there. I like that. Yep. See, there we go. And if I had seen that, if I had taken the time to try and figure that out, then this whole entire day would have been a lot clearer on the RTY at least. Yeah, it makes a lot more sense. Okay, CL is moving up, like really moving up. So, okay, let's do the same here. Let's figure out what's actually going on. Uptrend break, new high, downtrend, 2-legged break, attempts at a new low, isn't able to do it. Short-term uptrend runs into this resistance, downtrend runs into the support. So clearly ranging. Uptrend break, 2 legs to new high, downtrend break, 2 legs to new low, gets a more convincing break and new low. Short-term uptrend isn't able to play out, runs into the old support turned resistance, downtrend break, new low, creates this kind of like 2 legs down. You get 2 legs up, second leg is a lot larger, news event here, so it makes sense. Downtrend, break, new low, second leg down is larger than the first, which made me think that maybe this was a separate downtrend. That's why I was looking to short, but maybe it's really just these 2 legs down. I was looking at possibility to go for a measured move there, but that doesn't look correct. So we're actually just trending up super strongly. So incorrect read on the CL. I took like a little chunk out of the read on the RTY to the point where my read has been okay on this one, but it could have been a lot better. And now the ES, so downtrend has a break and a new low. Kind of looks like a few swings down to a new low. I'd say this is really like that. So downtrend break, 2 legs to new low, kind of makes a double bottom. Leg up, second leg up. Looks like we're gonna surpass that measured move. Possibility for an uptrend. Basically the same thing with the NQ. So I think we're going up to test this high. I don't know if we're gonna reach the highs on the ES and the NQ, but I think that's what prices are now attempting to do. This could just be 2 legs up. Maybe just 2 legs up there. Okay, that makes sense. I like it. And this range is not right on an NQ. So I thought that might be, but clearly it's just this support level. That's it. Let's see if this uptrend's right on the ES. And this would be a failed second entry, so downtrend has played out. You're looking for a break and new high of this major uptrend, this one from earlier. And you have 2 legs up with a first entry, second entry, potential for a failure, but this is a place where I really struggle with, where, okay, is this 2 legs up before prices are going to continue down? Like this was just a correction, like a 2-legged correction, or is this going to trap people? And I really struggle with that, so I'm not going to take any trades there or anything. And this is a really strong push down, so it makes me think that that's uptrend's at least not right. Looks like 2 legs up. Maybe we're just going to continue down. Yeah, and that's not right on the NQ or the RTY. I had that same trend drawn on basically all of them, but it's actually just like this shorter term uptrend with the break and new high. You can't take that short though, there's not enough reason. I mean, I'm considering thinking about a long on the CL, but to be honest, a lot of this doesn't make sense to me. Like this, pretty much the whole day, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Oh, well, I'm just stupid, actually. This downtrend is probably right. downtrend, gets a break in 2 legs to a new low. Now you're moving up higher. That's pretty dumb. I should have noticed that earlier. I think that's probably right. It fits really well. I think the reason I missed it is because there's such a large gap between prices right there, where prices didn't touch the trend line. That makes sense though. Okay, so maybe I would still consider a long. Short-term leg back, close outside, potential for a second entry long, but like I said, definitely a little bit suspect. I don't think that this support from earlier is not really into play anymore. That did come into play, so I'm going to leave that there. Okay, potential for the second entry long on CL.
Order submitted.
Man, I've just really flip-flopped directions, but I think I have the right read now. I like this downtrend, the break in 2 legs down. Strong push up. Looking for a break in new high. That signal bar had some momentum. It is a higher low second entry, which I don't love, but I think I'm going to take that. Second entry long, looking for the break in new high. Like I said, I think my read's right. I think the pattern could be a little sketchy though. So the pattern, why I'm thinking it might be sketchy is because this short-term downtrend doesn't have a break in new low yet. So it's a higher low second entry, which is always a little bit sketchier. So generally I save those for just whenever it's like a super strong momentum move. And this is a pretty strong momentum move, but I'm not sure if it's going to carry through here. So just going to wait and see what's going to happen. Looks like the momentum is continuing. So maybe I made the right read there. I'm pushing right into the highs, so I'm expecting prices to at least make one tick higher. hoping the price will just move on up here. But they could very well still turn down. We're making lower lows on the ES. So making a lower low than this. See if we can get through this support, and we can. So I don't think there was reason enough to take a short here. But it does appear that we're going to continue moving down. Or this could just hold the support. Maybe we go into something like a range. I'm going to put this resistance here just in case, but not sure about that. Same thing on the NQ and the RTY. We're making these lower lows. I'm like very relaxed in this trade. Like I'm not even, heart didn't even like skip a beat taking this one, to be honest. Which is interesting because usually whenever I take one that's a little bit riskier, like this one I do think is a little bit riskier due to it being that higher low second entry. And the fact that my read was earlier wrong. I think it's right now. I think with this downtrend, the break and 2 legs down, I think the read is right. But usually, you know, that would maybe make my heart go a little faster, but I've been very, very content with this one. Probably because it's been in my direction the whole time. Maybe if it was moving against me, then maybe my heart rate would be increasing more. So that's something to pay attention to. See how much coffee I have left. I feel like I haven't drank very much. I drink about half a cup. That's about as much as I usually drink during the day. If I drink more than that, I get really wired. I was about to drink some more. I don't need it. Wired as is. Okay, so we are moving down a little bit on this CL trade. So let's see if we're able to get out of there. Might not. Possible on the ES and the NQ that these 2 legs down are just a more convincing break and new low, because this one, it did have a close outside new low, but given how strong this downtrend was, this one could be like the more convincing one. So like if you went on a higher time frame, then you'd see just 1 leg down, a 2-legged break, and then 2 legs down. So it's possible that's what's happening there. The support obviously didn't hold. I don't think it's useful. I don't think that's useful either, so I'm just gonna remove it. Going for another attempt up. Let's see if we can get out of here on the CL. Just a few ticks away, so we're pretty close.
Target filled.
And we got out. Got out on the whenever prices touch the order, which doesn't happen super often. So unless prices push up and through here, then it's hard to consider that as a true win. Because if prices don't push up and through there, then sometimes you won't have gotten out. Okay, there we go. They did get up and through there. Nice, another 2 wins. So since I've started trading these 4 charts, getting 2 wins in a day has been not a common occurrence, but more common than it used to be, which is really good. I'm thinking I'm pretty content with having those 2 wins. So I'm just going to go through and clean up these charts. And try and make sure I got everything right here. I mean, I've already run through them, so I don't need to run through everything and say exactly what I'm thinking, but if I notice anything, then I'll mention it. I do think that was probably a good trade. Just kind of running through everything in my head. Yep, that looks good to me. I think I can go ahead and draw this range here. I think that's accurate. Fail breakout. Yep, I like that. I already looked at the CL. I like that. And here's the one that I was reading wrong like all day. Not wrong, but I didn't give it enough thought. I just like looked at it and I was like, I can't understand that. And I didn't really attempt to understand it. So I think that I made a mistake there by just kind of looking at this and saying, well, that doesn't make sense. And then like not really putting the time in to figure out what was going on. Yeah, it all makes sense to me. Sweet. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and hop off. It's a pretty good day to me. So I don't read the chat during the day. So I didn't see these messages from earlier. But Yaroslav, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. And then S here said the trend line coming down and didn't make it to the channel line could break. They said they're wrong, so I'll have to look back at the what's it called? Whenever I look back at the video, I'll have to see what trend line they were talking about because I'm not sure. I'll have to put like a little something on my chart that says, "Hey, I don't check the chat." I appreciate everybody, participating and everything, but it's just too distracting. I've got too many things to watch as is, and I'd have to get like a whole nother monitor to watch the chat, and I don't really want to do that. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Thursday. Yeah, I won't be trading on Friday, but I'll be back on tomorrow, Thursday. So hope everybody's trading went well, if anybody's watching this afterwards. And yeah,